Alright, so this is everything you'll need here. Don't worry about this. I actually just took this off. It's an old part. So here's the lug nut wrench that you'll need for the wheel, because the wheel's going to come off. So like make sure you, if you have a cover, like this one right here, make sure to take that cover off and then unloosen those, or loosen up those lug nuts, and then jack up the vehicle and take the lug nuts off. And I like having these shop towels for the grease or to clean off the parts or whatever. And then over here I have this kit of these plastic rivets, so because we're going to take off, this is just an example, we're not going to take this one off, but if you see like in this wheel well, this plastic thing, it's got like these plastic rivets. Oh, that's a screw. Okay, never mind. Okay, so if you see in this wheel well, there's these plastic rivets, and they break pretty easily. So yeah, you want to be prepared with some new ones. Then you can have some gloves if you want. Then we have needle nose pliers. They're optional, you don't really need them, but they do come in handy. This is like the main one you'll need, these plumber pliers. I'll just call them plumber pliers. And then you have this, I think it's a half inch ratchet or whatever, right there. And you have these extensions right here. I have this conversion right here from a 1/2 inch to 3/8. Yeah, and the swivel right here, 360 degrees. This buddy is pretty important. There's an awkward screw in there. It's in a very awkward position, so you are gonna need this. We have some flashlights right there. You'll need some flashlights. Alright, so we're gonna put the emergency brake now. So before you start like taking the wheel off and everything, the way you put the emergency brake is you want to hold the brake pedal down right there, all the way down, and then over here this is your emergency brake. You go all the way down there, then you can let the brake pedal go now, and then it'll let you know right here that the emergency brake is on. And then if you want to let it go, there's this thing right here that you pull back. So you pull it back like that for a few seconds, let it go, and there you go, the emergency brake is off. Just to be super safe, you want to block off these wheels with like a piece of wood or something, both of your rear wheels back here. So a piece of wood would work, or a cinder block, anything like that, a big rock. But yeah, so we have a thermostat that I got from Amazon. This is a Motorcraft. I also bought the lower radiator hose, my antifreeze. It's a Dex, GM Dex Cool Presto, and it's already got the water and the coolant mixed in 50-50, so you don't need to add water. Alright, so I'm still removing those retainers. I'm using a combination of these pliers right here and the needle-nosed ones. So that's the last one, and this whole plastic should come off. Alright, so this thing is coming off now. Alright, so I removed the screw just now, and what I did with that trick with the piece of tape actually worked. So as you can see, it doesn't fall even when you, okay, well it fell right there, but for the most part it should stay on there. Alright, so as you can tell, I was a bit too late here, but make sure you have a bucket ready or something for the coolant when it comes out. And so I took off those two screws, and the thermostat kind of like came out of place by itself. So we're gonna try to take it out now, and I have my new parts right over here. So I have the thermostat there, and then of course the lower radiator hose, and these two new clamps that I got from Advanced Auto Parts. So we're gonna see how we can do this. So just for now, I'm not gonna take the thermostat off the hose. So this portion right here is gonna stay like that. I just need to take the other end off of this, which should be right down here somewhere. There it is. There's the clamp. So that's just gonna come off. I'm gonna take the whole hose out once. All right, now as you can tell, I know this is not very safe, but I had to remove the wheel here a bit to put the pan in, or the bucket in. But once that's done there, I'm gonna go ahead and move the wheel back because I don't want this to fall. So yeah, just to be safe. Alright, so there you go. I removed the other end. Should probably get a flashlight here. I got my other flashlight up there. So there you go. That is where the thermostat used to be. The gasket was stuck on there. This was that was the old one, old gasket right there. Still looks like in really good condition, but I have a new one anyway, so there's no point of using the old one. I would clean it, but I think it would be fine right now. I'm probably just gonna wipe it down with one of these blue shop towels, real quick. Nothing much. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. And that's where the other part of the hose was, right there on the bottom corner of the radiator. And yeah, this was the old part right here. And I'm gonna take this thermostat off, which is the old one, just to look at it, just for the fun of it. Alright, so just pay attention to how it was before. So you see it went in like that, you can tell because the holes line up. And yeah, that notch right there has to be pointing up. So just make sure your new part looks exactly like this when you're putting it back in. Alright, so I kind of wiped it down with the blue shop towel right there. I'm not trying to do too much there, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna find this mess that I made. I'm gonna dip my blue towel on there real quick, kind of hydrate it, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna wipe this down just to hydrate the gasket. Bless it up with some antifreeze, and there you go. So this should be good to go. You can see this thermostat, it's the motor router, which I showed earlier in the video. I'll have it linked in the description. It's getting pinched by these four like knobs, so you don't need to put any like silicone or any RTV to keep it on there. So it should just stay on there like that. Alright, so here's how we're gonna approach this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the thermostat on the lower radiator hose on that end. So make sure this line goes all the way up to here on that notch right there. Let me focus in a bit. Yeah, so make sure it just meets right there. And then of course you just put one of the clamps over it and make sure it's pretty tight. Alright, so just a quick update here. So I tried to put in the thermostat and it wouldn't go in all the way. So what I did is I have of course my bucket over there with antifreeze. I kind of just like dipped the end of the thermostat in there, kind of lubricated it, and it slid perfectly into here. So now it's alright. So we're about to install this. Just make sure you have your bracket here on the end, so when you go to meet it with the bottom of the radiator, you already have it over the sleeve. So there is the other part of the hose. I got it on there. Let me focus in real quick. And there you go. We are on our merry way now. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I removed the extension from the ratchet that I had over here. And right now I just tighten it as much as possible with my hand, because you want to make sure you don't cross thread it or anything. So make sure you do it with your hand first, like this. And then once it's tight enough, then you could go in with your ratchet and tighten it up. And that is going to be a pain right there, but we're going to try to get it on there. And make sure, especially for that one up there, the screw up there, make sure you have that piece of tape on the end of your socket, like I showed earlier in the video, because you don't want it to fall here and lose it. Alright, so here we go. It's going to be a bit of a pain, but we're going to try to get this screw on there. And actually, I should probably take this off the ratchet and do it by hand first, like I said. So there you go. This is ready. This is pretty tight on there. It's not going to fall. Alright, so I thankfully kind of got it in there. So now what you want to do is actually remove this piece of tape. You want to make sure that it's as loose as possible in here. Alright, so I got my socket stuck in there, but for the most part, the screws are pretty tight. This should not be going anywhere. Should be good to go. I just need to get my socket back out of there real quick. Alright, so I got my socket out of there, and yeah, like I was saying, this should not be going anywhere. Probably some thread locker would have helped, but I think it should be fine as long as you tighten it pretty tight. Alright, so we're just going to put that bracket right over here, And we're going to tighten it down, and we should be good to go. Since we lost all of our antifreeze, just make sure you have a gallon or two ready. Alright guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this wheel back on. So I'm hand tightening these lug nuts right here. So should all be good. And we'll just get the whatever majigger thing you call it, and we'll tighten these. And then when you're tightening these lug nuts, just make sure you go in a star pattern, or if that's too confusing for you, what I think of is once you get done with this one, for example, just go to the opposite side right here, and then once you're done with that one, go to another side right here, and then once you're done with that one, opposite side, and once you're done with that one, the opposite side right here. And that's how you want to tighten them. What I was also thinking of, if you don't want to get any more antifreeze and you only have that gallon and you need some more, just reuse the old one. Just like this one right here. Alright, so since I was pretty impatient here, when I was taking off the plastic fender thingy that goes in the inner wheel well, I kind of just ripped it off, so I still have those like rivets there. And I have a box of, I don't know if I'm going to have enough, but I have a box of rivets somewhere around here. So if we go on my truck, yeah, I have those right there. I ordered on eBay. Hopefully it's enough. And yeah, as long as they just stay in there, should be fine. And I wouldn't recommend you buy them from like an auto parts place, since they're like really expensive and they don't even give you many of those rivets, those plastics. So I recommend just buying like a huge kit or something online on Amazon or eBay like this. So yeah, unless it's a big emergency and you really need them. Okay, so I'm putting my plastic rivets in there. So I ended up using, I had to dump this out because they were all mixed. I was using these before, but I don't think these are supposed to go in there. But the only other ones that I found that work are these right here. It's like a two-piece thing where you put it, so I'm probably going to take that one out. So you put it in the hole right here, and then the pin that goes inside, it's going to put like, it's going to put pressure on here and like kind of spread these two legs out, and it should stay in there. So yeah, I'm getting a bunch of those plastic rivets on there. Alright guys, so we are wrapping this up. I'm going to go ahead and get my cone right here that I have tied so I can put the antifreeze properly. I'm just going to go ahead and wash this out real quick. Alright, so let's hope we didn't break the truck here. We're going to turn it on and see what happens. I have the parking brake on right now. Let me just release the parking brake. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for the video. Just make sure, like when you turn on the truck or whatever, it's gonna, keep in mind it's gonna suck up antifreeze, so you're probably gonna have to put in more. My levels are pretty good now, so you can see down here it's filled up all the way up, and then the reservoir, the engine's fairly cold, so yeah, it's on that cold line down there, so everything should be good here. So thanks for tuning in. I usually don't make these kind of videos, but since I was going to do this project, I went ahead and just made a video just for the fun of it. I'll have my Twitter and Instagram linked in the description, as well as my Spotify playlist if you want to check that out. So thanks again guys for tuning in, and that'll be it for me. You guys have a good one.